Hi everyone. Today we're going to be looking at a book that deals with the many lives of a wonderful ocean liner. And the book and the ship is this: the SS America, the USS West Point, and the SS Australis. The Many Lives of a Great Ship by Lawrence Driscoll. This is a wonderful, laid-back, conversational in-tone look at the life of this ship. For those of you who may not be aware, the America was an ocean liner built for the United States Lines and did a series of cruises before the outbreak of World War II saw it become the troop ship USS West Point. And it was only after World War II that the ship had its rightful place on the North Atlantic run. It was designed by William Francis Gibbs, who used the ship as a template for his ultimate creation, the SS United States. This wonderful vessel then was sold on in the mid-60s to the Greek Chandris line, and it was renamed Australis, which translates to Australian Lady. It became the largest migrant ship that was used, and certainly the largest passenger ship of the Greek merchant marine at the time. And when I say it was the largest migrant ship employed in the Australian migration run, I am setting aside Orient Line's Oriana and P&O's Canberra, as they were also employed in line voyages. Anyway, once Australis had delivered the last round of migrants in November of 1977, the ship was then sold back and converted into a cruise ship called the America again, but it was an ill-fated venture which led to an onboard mutiny of the passengers. I would too if my cabin had sewage running through it and there were rats down in the corridor. From there, the ship was then sold back to Chandris, where it became the one-funneled Italian Lady. But that career as a cruise ship was very short-lived, and from then on the ship was laid up and it basically had a sad decline. It was sold and resold, it had multiple names, Noga, Alfredos, and the ship slowly decayed. It was going to be refurbished as a hotel, and under the name American Star was being towed to Thailand, but in a storm the tow line broke and the ship ran aground on the island of Fuerteventura in the Canary Islands. The ship then broke in two, the stern rolled over and imploded, and the bow gradually wore down until now only a fraction of the foredeck can occasionally be seen. A sad decline for a beautiful ship, but this book is a loving tribute and account of what life was like on board. But more than that, he looks at the entire lifespan of the ship. There is a clear focus on the ship's American career, from its inception and construction through to its design and fit-out, and its career as a troop ship, as well as the glory days on the North Atlantic run. We hear accounts of what life was like on board from passengers and crew. Refreshingly, we also hear from the engineers as well. We get a fun account of where the ship was going full speed and then it had to stop because the ship sucked in a school of fish that jammed the intake pipes for salt water. These things happen. The accounts of the troubles when the ship was the America version 2 is also quite fascinating when we hear word for word some of the arguments that the passengers had. Some of them were accused of living in slums, and so therefore they should have accepted their accommodation. And anyway, it makes wild reading, which is fun. The chapters on the Australis also include accounts of migrants who came to start a new life in Australia. And I admit that it is as the Australis that I favour this ship. I have a soft spot, and many years ago when I did my university thesis on migration to Australia between 1946 and 1977 by sea. One of the main reasons is because I wanted to research more about the accounts of those who travelled on this particular ship. So I ended up getting the best of both worlds. The accounts of migrants have a beautiful contrast to those who were voyaging in luxury and for pleasure in terms of North Atlantic crossings. So it's quite fascinating to compare those who were traveling to, the old world or traveling to see friends on the continent versus those who had very little and were trying to start a new life at the other side of the world. And all of these experiences took place on the same ship, over different time periods, but it all happened on the same ship. The last years of the life of this ship are then covered briefly in a chapter, and at the very end of the book there are some cutaways and diagrams and floor plans, deck plans rather, of the ship as the America. As you can see, the quality isn't the best, and that is something that a new edition could easily rectify. Which is surprising, because this book is published by Glencannon Press, who do some incredible books about the American Merchant Marine. They have encyclopedic volumes about the Liberty ships, the Victory ships, all the war-built classes that came out. So they do good work. I don't know why with this one the quality isn't as what it could have been. But again, there's always a new edition that can be made. As I commented earlier, the continuing popularity of this ship, particularly on social media, the Australis Facebook group, is extremely popular and active. Shows that this ship occupies a special place in many people's hearts and memories. For some, it was a wonderful experience voyaging across the Atlantic. For troops, it was their bastion of safety. And for countless migrants, it was their highway to a better life, the beginning of a dramatic and fantastic adventure for them. And these memories live on, and we can see it on social media as well as within this book with the accounts that have been included. Lawrence does a fantastic job of presenting all the information in a beautiful, easygoing, conversational style. It feels like a lovely chat just reading through this book. And, as I said, for the moment, it remains the most complete look at the life and the many lives of this ship. For that, it is a 4 captain's hats. And certainly, should a new edition come out, aside from improving the quality of the diagrams and deck plans at the back of the book, inserting a color section would also be good. And of course, expanding the chapters on the Italis when it was laid up, and throwing in a gazillion more accounts about what life was like as the Australis. But again, that is all room for another edition. 4 captain's hats for this beautiful book. And I just want to briefly point out, for those who are interested in the ship as the America, there is this pretty book which is also pretty expensive. But it is a photographic and visual look at the life of the America. It was meant to be part of a series with the Australis coming out in a separate volume, but from what the accounts are online, that edition may not be released in the immediate future, which is terribly unfortunate. But for those who want a colourful look at the life of America, then try this one. But for those who are interested in a complete look at the many careers of this lovely ocean liner, Australis, America, USS West Point, then please check out Lawrence Driscoll's book. Now, If there are any other books about ocean liners, or if there are any ocean liners that you would like discussed, please let me know in the comments below and I will certainly add them to the queue. So until next time, enjoy and happy reading everyone.